Hi everyone, welcome to today's class. Today we're gonna do liquidity ratio analysis illustration. Okay, so before going to the illustration problems, we have to know what is liquidity ratio analysis. So this analysis helps in measuring a short-term solvency of a business. So which means it helps in measuring a company's ability to meet its short-term obligations. So this liquidity suggests how quickly assets of the company gets converted into cash. So that means liquidity. Okay. So it ensures that the business has an uninterrupted flow of cash to meet its current liabilities, to solve its current liabilities. So also this liquidity suggests that a company has a sufficient fund to meet its day-to-day business operations. Okay. So by this suggests that very conversion of a current asset into cash should be so quick as to ensure timely payment. So to the outsiders. So this is to say the majority of a current asset should not get tied up in inventories and credit sales. So that is account receivables. Okay. Otherwise the company will run out of the cash to meet its current or debt obligations. So if they didn't meet up, they will affect. Okay. So before that we already seen what is liquidity ratios. Liquidity means which we can convert into cash. Okay. So this is meet up with the current liabilities. Okay. So based on this we're gonna see examples for liquidity ratio analysis. Excuse me. Okay. So because as example, which means the current ratio was used to analyze the short term solvency of electric multinational of the given period. So these ratios apart from other sets of ratio that were calculated. So this is other ratios include solvency ratios, asset turnover ratio and return on capital employed. So next one is what is analysis. Okay. So what is analysis? So as per the study, okay, it was concluded that that ABB, okay, this is an example, okay. So an average current ratio was 1.49 in the period of 2013 to 2016. On the other hand, Rockwell at average current ratio 2.69 for the same period. So this is current ratio less than 2 indicates that the company does not have sufficient assets to meet up its short-term obligations. So because the company is growing its sales faster than its finance them. So this situation can lead the company to the insolvency. So it is because the company is attempting to adjust more customers willing to purchase its goods relative to its capacity to fund them. So thus a low current ratio for a period suggests liquidity crisis of the company in a short term. This makes it necessary to invest current assets in order to meet the short term obligations. Okay. So we already seen what are the types of liquidity ratio. Okay. Types of liquidity ratio. First one we already seen current ratio. Current ratio. Okay. So what is current ratio? Because it is one of the liquidity ratios. Okay. So this ratio evaluate a company's ability to meet a short term obligation. We already seen this. So these obligations are once they are typically due within a year. So this ratio also calls an working capital. Current ratio or working capital. Okay. So it measures a company's assets relative to its current liabilities. So this ratio determines short-term solvency of the company. So which it also indicates the ways into which company can convert its cash at current assets into cash to meet its short-term debts or payables. So although this current ratio determines a short-term solvency of a company at a particular time, however, it does not give a complete picture of its liquidity because a company having very high current ratio may be the result of increased bills receivable. So this is on account of slow paying debtors or such a huge ratio is the result of a company's inability to sell its inventory. So therefore, it is important for a business owners or a managers to check the quality of the assets rather than simply calculating ratios. Okay, the current ratio formula we already seen. Current ratio equal to current asset divided by current liabilities. So here CA called current assets, CL called current liabilities. Okay. So for example, the finance managers refers a balance sheet of a company for a current assets. So these current assets include, okay, this CA include, I'll tell one by one. Okay, the CA include inventory, cash, accounts receivable, other assets. So that can be liquidated within a year. Okay, inventory, cash, accounts receivable, and other assets which are easily convertible into cash. Okay, so these are called as current assets. And the next one is the current liabilities. Current liabilities equal to accounts payable. So this is account receivable, this is accounts payable, account payable, outstanding expenses, like what are the outstanding expenses, which means wages, then taxes. Okay, so these are etc. So this will include in outstanding expenses. So this is outstanding expenses and short term debt. Okay, so these are called as current liabilities. These are known as the current liabilities. So the what current assets indicates. Okay, so what current assets indicate, excuse me, okay, so what current assets indicates. So by this current ratio lower than industry average suggests higher risk of a default. This is because of a company is growing its sales way beyond its low conversation of a bills receivable to pay for a current liabilities. So likewise, the company is having too high a current ratio, so which is relative to the industry standard suggests that they are using their assets inefficiently. Okay, this means poor financial planning on the part of the company as too much funds are blocked in the current assets that lead to idle capital. Okay, so which lead to idle capital. So next we're going to see illustration. Okay, so illustration we're going to see. Bye. So we going to illustrate, for illustration we need a sum, right? Okay, so excuse me. Okay, so this is under particulars and amount. Okay, so by this question we will calculate more ratios, liquidity ratios. Okay, so this is first one is the inventories, that is to rupees, excuse me, Next, trade receivable. So this is amount in rupees, right? Okay. So trade receivable, same 50,000. Excuse me. Next, advance tax, 4,000. Cash and cash equivalents. Next one is the trade payables, 1 lakh. And next one is a short term borrowings. Excuse me. Okay, this is short term borrowings, 4,000, right? Okay, so next we move on, current ratio. Okay, so what we already seen, current ratio equal to current asset minus current asset divided by current liabilities. Okay, so current ratio means a CR equal to CA divided by CL, current liabilities. So in this, okay, so in this particulars, what are included in current asset, what are included in current liabilities? Thank you. So this will include for a current assets. So current assets, what are the current assets? Inventories, trade receivables, advance tax, and cash and cash equivalents. Okay, these four is gonna current assets. Okay, these four: inventories, trade receivables, advance tax. So for current assets, which equal to inventories is for 50,000. Please, please. 50,000 plus. Next one is trade receivables. This is also 50,000 plus. Next one is advance tax. This is for 4,000 plus cash and cash equivalents. These four will current assets. 4. Okay, so cash and cash equivalents for 30,000. excuse me, which is equal to current assets equal to total 1,34,000. Next one is current liabilities. So in current liabilities, what I already told, other two, trade payables and short term borrowings, which is bank overdraft. Okay, so trade payables for 1 lakh, 1 lakh, and short term borrowings for 4,000. So equal to 1,04,000. Okay. Next, we're gonna move to current ratio. Current ratio equal to current asset divided by current liabilities. So current asset for 1,34,000. Okay, divided by 1,04,000 equal to 1.29, sorry, 1.29 is 1. So this is okay, this is current ratio answer for the question. Okay, so this current ratio is 1.29 is 1. Okay, so this 1.29 is indicates current assets and 1 indicates current liabilities. Okay, so based on this, the current ratio, current liabilities is lesser than the current assets, so it is good for the organization. So if the current liability is 1.29, current assets is 1, means if the current assets is less than the current liabilities, so they can equal, they can't meet up the current liabilities well, so that this current ratio is a good for the organizations. Okay, next we move on. Quick ratio, that is the second one. Okay, this illustration for a current ratio. Excuse me, I'll first copy and paste. Okay, this is for current ratio. Okay, so next we move on, the second one, quick ratio, that is the second one, liquidity ratio. Okay, so this quick ratio, so before that we have to know what is quick ratio. So this is more cautious approach towards the understanding a short term solvency of a company. So this is because it includes only the quick assets, so which are the more liquid assets of the company. So just like the current ratio, a higher quick ratio also indicates that the company's assets are highly liquid to meet its short term debts obligations. So but this quick ratio proves the better liquidity measures compared to the current ratio. Okay, so this is because so this is because firstly, quick ratio does not consider certain current assets, so such as a prepaid expenses, advance taxes. Okay, so it also because such expenses have been paid in advance and cannot be converted into cash. So secondly, this current asset like inventory are also not considered while calculating a quick ratio. So this is because these assets cannot be liquidity converted into cash. So thus we can conclude the assets which can be converted into a very short period of a time are categorized as quick assets. So this period is restricted to 90 days or less. Okay, the if it is more than a 1 year, which we can convert in within a 1 year, means this is a current assets. Okay, so it is within the 90 days. Within the 90 days means 3 months. Within a 3 months or less, this is called as quick assets. Okay, this is say only the account receivable that can be collected within a 90 days or considered as a quick assets. So this is because the company may have to offer discounts in order to sell its inventory within a 90 days or so. So hence the formula for calculating a quick ratio. Okay, so quick ratio. Hmm. Quick ratio equal to cash and cash equivalence. Okay, cash and cash equivalence, sorry, cash and cash equivalence plus marketable securities and accounts receivable. So divided by current liabilities. Okay, cash and cash equivalents plus marketable securities plus accounts receivable. So if the cash and cash equivalents are not given, they have given only current assets directly by inventory and prepaid expenses. If they are given, we need to change the formula. Okay, okay, so other formula, quick ratio equal to, I already said, if they given current assets. Okay, current assets, if they given current assets, we have to less the inventory and prepaid expenses. Inventory prepaid expenses. Okay, so divided by current liabilities. So this is the formula, right? Or fine. So this is the formula. We're gonna make it out now. Okay, so illustration is the same. We have to find the quick ratio. Okay, so quick ratio, this is called, see, this current assets. Okay, this current assets minus inventory minus prepaid expenses. Okay, so and also, excuse me, so this cash. Okay, cash plus till accounts receivable are current assets prepaid expenses. So these are called quick assets. Okay, so for the formula 1 or formula 2, which already seen, so this is mean as cash and cash equivalents plus marketable securities plus account receivable. These three are current assets, or current assets minus inventory plus prepaid expenses. Plus means inventory and prepaid expenses have to less from a current assets. This is equal to quick assets. Okay, next we move on for the formula. So before that, we have to find for quick assets. What is quick assets? Quick assets equal to, we already found current assets. Okay, we already found the current assets minus we already have the inventories and advance tax. Advance tax means prepaid expenses. We already paid the taxes. So this is expenses which we already paid is a prepaid. Okay, so that is the advance tax. So we have to less current from the current assets. Okay, inventories and advance tax. Advance tax means prepaid expenses, right? So, okay. So current assets minus inventories plus advance. We can go through like that. So current asset minus inventory minus prepaid expenses. We also do the minus 2. So this is the same thing. Okay. So quick assets equal to inventories, current asset minus inventories plus advance taxes. So next one, current asset, what we already found. See what we already found, 1,34,000 we already found as a current assets. Okay, so we're gonna see current assets 1,34,000 minus, so inventories is 50,000 plus or a minus, your wish. So next advance taxes for 4,000. So it has given, and the answer is 1,34,000 minus 54,000. Okay, so the answer is 80,000. Next we move on to the formula. So quick ratio, okay, quick ratio equal to quick assets divided by current liabilities. This is the formula. So quick assets for 80,000, okay, divided by current liabilities. So we already found current liabilities. This is for 1,04,000. Okay, 80,000 divided by 1,04,000. So this quick ratio equal to 0.77 is 1. Okay, so this is a quick ratio. So by this the quick asset is 0.77 and the current liabilities are 1. Okay, is it clear? I think it's clear, right? It's okay. First we seen current ratio, and next one is a quick ratio. Okay, excuse me. Okay, and second is a quick ratio, and the third one is cash ratio. So before that we have to know what is cash ratio. Okay, so this cash ratio is one of the liquidity ratios, so which measures company's total cash and cash equivalents, so by the relative to its current liabilities. So this ratio indicates the ability of the company to meet its short term obligation using its most liquid assets. Okay, so the liquid assets in a cash ratio, which include cash on hand, DD, demand deposit, okay, not a draft. Okay, so it is a demand deposit, cash equivalents like T bills, money market accounts and savings account. So it is very reliable approach towards understanding a short term solvency of a company in comparison to the other liquidity ratios. So this is because it does not take into a consideration asset such an asset receivables, inventory and a prepaid expenses. So which is so because accounts receivable might take time to convert. So on the other hand, the prepaid expenses usually cannot be converted into cash. So which is similarly a company may take time to sell its inventory, which may make it a illiquid. Okay. So next we move on to find a fine. So cash ratio. Okay, Okay, we already found the cash ratio. So for this we have to find, oh what, sorry. So for this cash ratio, the formula is, okay, cash ratio equal to, sorry for the typing and making some alternatives, okay, this cash ratio equal to cash, sorry, cash plus cash equivalents divided by current liabilities. Okay, so cash plus cash equivalents divided by current liabilities. So in this we already have, so this cash and cash equivalents, which ratio indicates this is equivalent to 1, suggests that the company has exactly the same amount of a cash. So the cash equivalents has the same current liabilities. So this can be utilized to pay its short-term debt obligations. On the other hand, this cash ratio is a less than 1, suggests that the company has a insufficient cash to meet its current liabilities. So this may not be an issue with the companies having a long payment cycle. So the short collection period. So it also includes companies that manage their inventory efficiently. Okay. So this ratio more than 1 indicates that the company has more than a sufficient cash to pay its current debts. So this means the company has some amount of a cash even after the meeting its short-term debt obligations. So however, too high cash ratio is not good indicator, as it reveals the improper cash ratio is not a good indicator, as it reveals the improper financial planning on the part of the company. So because the excess cash lying idle would rather be invested in a high return projects. So we already seen the illustrations. So this, come to this. So does we have a cash in this particulars? No, we don't have a cash in this particulars. We just have cash and cash equivalents. That's it. Oh, in this formula there is no cash. They have given in the sum. So we have to know no cash. There is no cash. So cash and cash equivalents we have. So this is for 30,000 divided by current liabilities. We already seen what is current liabilities. 1,04,000. Okay. So 1,04,000. So which is equal to 0.29 divided by 1. Okay, this is cash ratio. So according to this, we have 0.29 is a cash we have, ready cash we have. Okay, the 1% is the same as a current liabilities. Fine. So next we move on. Defensive internal interval ratio. Okay, defensive interval ratio. This is a fourth liquidity ratio. Interval ratio. Interval means the durations. Okay, so we already seen the defensive interval ratio means the durations of interval ratios. Fine. So in this, the defensive interval ratio means this ratio ascertain the time period for which the company can continue to pay off its expenses from its existing pool of liquid assets. So this is without receiving any additional cash inflow. So because the company has a defensive interval ratio of a 60, okay, this is a ratio of 60. So which means the company can continue to pay off its operating expenses for a period of 60 days before all of its quick assets get exhausted. Because the assumption here is that no additional cash flows are received by the company for these 60 days. Okay, so just like other liquidity ratios, a higher defensive interval ratio suggests greater liquidity. So there are situations where a company might have a very low defensive interval ratio as compared to its competitors or its own ratio in the previous years. So by such sufficient enough to fill the gap. So the formula for calculating defensive interval ratio, so which have means, so this defensive interval ratio equal to, this ratio will be in a number of days, not in a, okay, this ratio will be in a number of days, so which is equal to current assets divided by daily operational expenses. Daily operational expenses. Okay, so by this defensive interval ratio, okay, this is means where the current assets we already seen, cash, marketable securities, net receivables, so which are included. Okay, this current assets which include cash, marketable securities and net receivables. Okay, and the next one is a daily operational expenses. So daily operational expenses, so this daily operational expenses equal to, this is a formula, okay, annual operating expenses minus non-cash charges. Okay, so this is to divided by 365. So annual operating expenses minus non-cash charges, so this is divided by 365. So because we have to find the days, so for a year it has a 365, right? So if it is a leap, 366. Okay, so we have to find the days, so this is the formula, annual operating expenses minus non-cash charges divided by 365 days. So it will comes under days. So in this illustration we don't have the durations, the daily expenses, operating expenses with we don't have the operating expenses in this. Okay, and non-cash charges too we don't have. So if the problems has given as a non-cash charges, we have to find divided by 365, then we'll move on to current asset divided by daily operational expenses. So for the example I'm telling, okay, I'm just assuming defensive interval ratio equal to CA. We already found current assets equal to how much? 1,34,000. Okay, so 1,34,000. Okay, so divided by daily operational expenses. So we don't have daily operational expenses. Okay, so they didn't give the illustrations, right? So we assume daily operation expenses is for, so annual operating expenses 30,000 minus non-cash charges is wait, I'm telling now. Okay, so this the daily operating expenses, which is equal to annual operating expenses is for 40,000. Okay, annually operating expenses 50 or 80,000. Okay, 80,000 minus non-cash charges, so it is for a 30,000. Okay, and divided by 365. So this annual operating expenses for 80,000 and the non-cash charges for 30,000, just we assumed. Okay, so this is divided by 365. So this is answer for 80,000 082. Okay, 80,082. So we have to found 1,34,000 divided by 80,082. So we already have the current assets as 1,34,000, and for daily operational expenses we just found 80,082. Okay, the answer is for 1.673. Okay, so this is a 1.6, sorry, 73, not a 43. Okay, so 1.673 is the answer. So by this we have to end this within days. Okay, so this is 3, 1.67, so it has gone 7, sorry, 7. Okay, so 1.7 goes to 2. The answer is 2 days, right? So answer is 2 days. Fine. And the next one is cash conversion cycle. Okay, cash conversion cycle. Fine. So what it means? So this means it is a measure that determines the time period, so that transpires from the point when working capital is invested till the time the company collects cash. So generally when a company buys an inventory on a credit, which leads to increase in bills payable. So eventually when the company sells the final goods on credit, which leads to increase in accounts receivables. So further it collects cash against the accounts receivable and pays cash against the accounts payable. So thus the time period between outflow of a cash and inflow of a cash forms the cash conversion cycle. So which is also known as net operating cycle. So lesser the time period between cash inflow and outflow. So this is higher the liquidity. So such a short cash conversion cycle means that the company needs to finance its account receivable and inventory for a short period of a time. So likewise, it is a greater the time period between cash outflow and inflow, lower the liquidity. So a longer cash conversion cycle, so which means the company must finance its accounts receivable and inventory for a long period of a time. Okay. So this is in the formula of cash conversion cycle. Okay. Excuse me. Cycle equal to days of inventory outstanding. How many days the inventory is outstanding, plus days payable outstanding. Okay. So days of inventory outstanding plus days payable outstanding, minus, excuse me, minus days payable outstanding. Okay. So by this we have to find what the formula for days of inventory outstanding. So this is the days of inventory outstanding. Okay. So days of inventory outstanding. So this is equal to average inventory divided by COGS into 365. So days of inventory outstanding equal to average inventory COGS. Okay. So COGS means cost of goods sold. Okay. So average inventory cost okay. So average inventory divided by cost of goods sold into 365. Fine. This is the formula for days of inventory outstanding. Okay. So for average inventory, in this for average inventory we have to find, right? So average means open inventory means what? Stocks. Okay. So average inventory equal to cost opening and closing inventories. So okay, opening balance, close balance we will write, right? So in a balance sheet, in a profit and loss account, in a trading account, right? So this is under average inventory. So which means opening inventory plus closing inventory. Okay. Plus inventory. Okay. So divided by 2, right? Opening inventory plus closing inventory divided by 2. This is the average inventory formula. And days of outstanding. Okay. Days of sales outstanding. So days of sales outstanding. Days sales outstanding days sales outstanding equal to same average accounts receivable divided by revenue per day. Okay, this is a days sales outstanding. Then we have to find average accounts receivable. So average also we have to add both and divided by 2, half of the opening and closing. Okay. So average account receivable equal to opening plus opening accounts receivable plus closing accounts receivable divided by 2. Okay. Next we have to find days payable outstanding. So days payable outstanding for this. Okay. So days payable outstanding. Days payable outstanding equal to average accounts payable divided by cost of goods sold per day. We have to find per day. Okay. So days payable outstanding we already found. Okay. So average accounts payable, the same thing what we wrote on average accounts receivable, the same thing. Okay. So accounts payable, right? So this is a payable. Accounts payable. And this is account payable. Fine. So this is the formula. Okay. So by this is class over. See, this is a liquidity ratio analysis. It has a 5 types. Okay. The first one is a current ratio. So this is the formula of current assets divided by current liabilities. Fine. Current assets divided by current liabilities. This is the formula. And quick ratio is the second one. The quick ratio formula for quick ratio equal to cash plus cash and cash equivalents plus marketable securities plus account receivables. This is also called a quick assets divided by current liabilities, or current assets minus inventory minus prepaid expenses divided by current liabilities. Okay, this is quick ratio. And then third one is a cash ratio. So formula, cash ratio equal to cash plus cash equivalents divided by current liabilities. Then finally defensive interval ratio. Defensive interval ratio we already found. This is the formula. In days, we have to specify the answer in days, equal to current assets divided by daily operational expenses. Finally, the cash conversion cycle. So if the cash conversion, because if they have given the particulars from opening and closing, receivables, payables, outstanding, like that. So you by if they gave, okay, account receivables opening closing, payable opening closing, outstanding. Okay, so by they have given, and after that they have given the 365 days, some days revisions. Okay, so if they have given, you have to find the cash conversion cycle. So by this the liquidity ratio analysis problems over. Fine. See. Okay. So this is over. If you have any queries, please feel free to text me in a WhatsApp. Okay. Take care. Thank you.